Hi folks, welcome to Set Apart Homestead. This is Travis here at the Prepared Homestead. Thank you for stopping by and checking out our videos. It means a lot to us. Go ahead and, if you would like to, subscribe, share, like the videos, pass them around. We really enjoy the feedback and sharing, our life and some thoughts and maybe a little advice along the way with you. Before I get started on the topic today, I do want to take a brief moment to talk about what is going on in the last few days in our world, or at least our country, for those of you here in the U.S. And it's the protests and the riots that we're seeing. And I have no intention of going into, my opinions or anything on the thing that caused it, the person that was killed, that was this Mr. Floyd, I believe, that was killed, and the politics surrounding that. What I want to focus on is the fact that it's just one more thing that's happening, going on at the same time of all these other things that we're seeing, civil unrest increasing. And I, some of the actions, I think, that we're seeing are justified, but obviously many of them are very criminal and not justified. But the point is that they're happening, and I want to believe that probably, even if none of it is orchestrated, none of the riots are orchestrated, which I'm not sure that I would believe that they're not, but let's just, for the sake of the argument, say that it's just, it is what it is. With everything that's happening, it's just one more thing to confirm to those of us that prepare of why we should prepare. I saw a video just today that rioters have breached the Ohio State House. The state police in Ohio were working to secure the Capitol building, and they had breached the State House, were busting out windows and ransacking the government buildings there. I'm not sure I can remember just about any time in American history that has happened. So things are starting to kind of move along pretty quickly, and it's a snowball, and I don't think that it's, like I said, I don't foresee things getting better anytime too soon. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to really shift gears from my typical videos, which usually are either some type of homesteady, farmy type of thing, or maybe a rant on the political situation, or being prepared or whatever. And although this kind of falls in with that, it's a different viewpoint. I want to talk about the mindset of preparing, of being prepared mentally. And I have talked about that before, that your mindset is the most important thing next to your soul to prepare. But not just a normal mindset. I want to talk specifically about handling loss, dealing with loss in your life. Because that is something that just about everyone has to deal with from time to time in their life, and because of what is happening in our world today, most likely most of us will experience loss more than normal, and it's something we have to prepare ourselves for. When I was many years ago training, I remember one of my lieutenants told us that it really, in the end, and this is from a more of a combat perspective, it really doesn't matter how much physical training you have if your mind is not trained and ready for that. That you can have every type of training possibly known to man and be very skilled and various weapons or various forms of defense or offense. But if you don't have the mind to survive and the will to overcome, then you've lost before the fight began. And so taking that, and I've talked, like I said, I've talked about that. I made a video once about that if you're interested in looking back on that video. But today I want to talk about us dealing with loss. And loss can come at us in various different ways. Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is the loss of a loved one. And there are many people today in the last few months that have lost loved ones. Whether it's because of virus or because of other reasons. There have been numerous cases of people that have committed suicide just because of the psychological toll this is all taking on them. And I unfortunately believe that amount of loss that this nation has experienced and this world has experienced isn't over. And I'm not just talking about the virus. I'm talking about many other things that has happened, are happening, and will continue to happen that could, cause loss of life. And that is very difficult, especially when it's someone very close to us. And I can tell you from a very personal experience that when you lose someone very dear to you and that you're extremely close to, it's very difficult, especially if the situation is just it's just not a situation that anyone should ever experience. It's very difficult to pick up and move on. It's very difficult every day to move beyond that. As humans, most of the time, we're able to, in the moment of an emergency, to put aside our emotions and kind of put them on pause for a little bit to handle that emergency. But in the end, they will come back to us, and we will have to work through that. And it's something that we have to prepare for. You may not ever be able to prepare for the loss itself, but you certainly can begin to prepare yourself, your mind, your psyche for being able to make it through that loss, for telling yourself that no matter what I face, I have a duty to continue to push through. I have other ones that depend on me, and no matter what I come across, I must continue to fight and move on and move forward. But it doesn't always have to be a loss of a loved one. There are people in the last few months that have lost their jobs. Unemployment is over 40 million people just in the last few months. There's people that's lost their homes, lost other personal things, their automobiles or whatever it is. There's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people in food bank lines all over America. Some of these lines are over a mile long of people that never in the past have ever had a problem putting food on their table, and all of a sudden now they are standing in lines waiting for handouts, and I suspect many of them they're genuinely in need of food, so they have experienced loss. And this is something that it's very unfortunate that most of the time media and governments and leadership in the midst of a tragic event, they focus on pushing through it and getting through it, but many times they don't focus on what that amount of loss, the toll it takes on us, the toll it takes on us mentally and emotionally. And it is a real thing, and no matter how tough and hard some of us think that we are, and some of us are, there's many of you watching, I know for a fact, you've experienced combat, you have experienced great loss in your life, and you have really built up a tough skin, developed that alligator skin to kind of get through things. But it doesn't mean that you're impenetrable, and you know that deep inside, and I know that, that we do have that soft spot some point deep inside. And so going through and facing what we are right now in our world and in our lives, part of the things that, some of the things that we need to be preparing for is experiencing that loss, and knowing that just because we fail or just because we lose someone or something, that doesn't mean that our existence is over or no longer worth moving forward. We have to understand that we must move forward, we must prevail. We have we serve a higher purpose in this life, and and we can't allow what's going on to kind of get us down. And I say this in a lot of the comments sometimes, and maybe a lot isn't the right word, but I do receive comments from time to time from viewers that will say something like, I love watching your videos, but I'm just in a situation that I can't do that. I'm elderly, or I'm a single mother, or I'm disabled, or I'm poor, or whatever it is. I'm stuck in this apartment. I don't have the ability to prepare in the way that you talk. I guess I'm just not going to survive. I just guess it's just not going to work for me. And I don't believe that is true. Of all the creatures on this planet, the one that has proven over and over and over again that they have this crazy ability to get through things that you would never think they could get through and survive, and that's we humans. And so no matter what you face in your life today or in the future, you can survive it if you put your mind to it. You can get through that loss. And I will tell you that there are some things in life that the loss is so great that you cannot imagine overcoming it and being able to push through it. But I can tell you, as someone that's gone through loss that no one else should ever experience, it is possible to survive it. With all the things that's happening, there's a lot of, internet rumors and whispers and theories going on about what is happening or will happen, and people saying that, we may have 6 months left, we may have a year left, next spring, next year, this end of this year, whatever it is, before everything completely collapses. And they could be right, but it may not be. And so we cannot allow ourselves to get to the point of just giving up because we believe that the loss is too great, or that the loss we may face is too great. We have to keep pushing forward. We have to keep our wits about us, and remember that we can prevail this. You may not have thousands of dollars in food supplies. You may not have acres of homesteading land and large gardens and animals and or a community of neighbors or friends around you. But if you put forth the effort and convince yourself with determination that you will prevail, I believe that every person can. And I serve a Father in heaven that I know will be there with us through that, if you have faith in him. And so I wanted to talk to you today about this, because things are crazy out there. It's like every day something new is happening, or every week at least. And telling you, it does. It sounds like the end of days is happening right before our eyes. And that may be the truth. But a year from now, we may all be back to normal and everything just as great as it's ever been. We don't know. But what we do know is that the odds are that many of us are going to experience some level of loss going through this. It doesn't have to be death necessarily, but we have to be able to set our focus on completing this task, completing this journey, and knowing that, you know, no matter what is out there, what they, the government, or they, the people in power, want to do to us, or no matter what happens with a virus, or what happens with, you know, other people that, you know, and society breaking down, if we are determined and we are steadfast, and our minds are focused, and our hearts and our souls are open, we can survive this. And so no matter where you are in your life, I want you to know that don't give up just because you may not have the knowledge, or the location, or the experience, or the funds, the money, or whatever it is to you know, survive some great event, and that you may have lost a job, or money, or home, or farm, or even a loved one. Don't give up, because that's the only time we truly fail. That's the only time that we truly lose, is when we give up. As long as you're pushing forward, you're still in the fight. No matter what you have faced, as long as you're still pushing forward, you still have that chance to, and the odds are still going to be in your favor to overcome and prevail in the end. So, as you go into this weekend, which I'm telling you here, we've had some crazy, it's been one of the wettest Mays and the wettest springs on record around here. It just seemed like it hasn't stopped raining, and the sun hasn't shone for a few weeks, it feels like. Today it's beautiful, and they're forecasting a good 8 to 10 days of clear and sunny skies. So we're excited about that, and we're excited to finally see some things in the garden perk up. But we know that no matter what we go through, in the end we can survive it. If our garden fails this year, it would be a setback, and it would be rough, but we'll make it. And you have to do that, and don't allow loss to be the final nail in the coffin, so to speak, for us. We have to keep prevailing forward, and keep pushing, and keep our mindset on the goal. That every day, you know, every night, our goal is to go home that night. Our goal is to finish this race, and we must do that. So I hope whatever you face, and I pray that whatever you face, you will be able to make it through it, because I have faith in us as a people. All right, folks, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.